Hey guys, it's Burgos here, and today I'm going to talk about why I didn't go for Marksmans, why I'm not Marksman main, what is the reasons, the history, basically everything, and why I decided to go for mages. Well, first thing first, let's go back in the season 1. In the season 1, we was presented with Lilia, with Nico, with Velin, and Kinara from Spin. Now, Kinara and Lilia was a heroes that it was pay to win, especially the Lilia, even though that Lilia is the most easy hero to be awakened. Just you need the specific level of VIP. I don't remember which one, but it was not that hard. And Lilia 15111 was a very good pick. I don't remember till which. I think maybe 6, 7, 8, 9 till level 9, VIP level 9, and you're going to have your Lilia, all the tokens that are presented for this hero, you're going to have this hero awakened. Till the wiki spin is something that you definitely need to spend a lot of money. So on this point, Lilia was more easy to be awakened, and I go for Lilia. And Marksmans back in the day didn't actually get this wonk range warfare that I personally hate, because the main reason I go for mages is first there is a infantry and cavalry, which is a melee troops. After this, if this, let's say this melee line was breaked, is going to be the marksmans because they have medium range. And after this is going to be the mages. This is my that was my plan back in the days in my head, that my mages is going to be way behind everybody until everybody in the front lines die and only mages left. This is, I'm going to get all the benefits being mage. But things slowly changed. Nobody was playing infantry, especially with the barricades that slow infantry by a lot. And people was like, I'm talking on the first seasons, and people was like, oh my god, nobody was running infantry. Everybody was using infantry when they defeat the enemy, and there was a lot of destruction of these barricades. Because back in the days, the barricades was something like towers. What I mean by that is, if you want to slow the progression of your enemy, you just put a lot of barricades. You level up these barricades, I think it was to level 6, something like this, and you slow the enemy with your own resources. It's not needing alliance towers. You don't need the alliance resources to slow the enemy. And this is how the things was back in the days. So I was very happy with mages. I was fighting, but I have this thing on my mind that maybe one day the game is going to change, and some of the troop may actually get boosted and become extremely strong. And this is the main reason I have legions like this. Even though the last season I get to rally and I lose like 50k or maybe 60k Celestials and Vestos, I level up my Vestos, because if I switch to, for example, let's say Spring Warden, and I want to go for Cavalry, I'm still going to have mages. Not like going all in for Celestials and going for Spring Warden. And if I go there, I have to go Cavalry main, because if I have like 2 million Celestials, that is going to become Eagles. It's not going to be a good option. And same for, especially, oh my god, the Wilderberg. The Wilderberg flank units was horrible. Right now, the game at least boosts them a little so they can be able to destroy something. But back in the days, they was very, very bad. And from there, I was keeping with mages. I start, investing. And by investing, I mean, I was buying the daily bundle. Ooh, where is this? Yeah, the daily bundle, the daily deals. Right now, I don't spend that much, but I was getting this thing, especially for Velin, for example. I save for Lilia, having Lilia Velin. Oh my god, that was the combo that, if you see big report on merits, that was Lilia Velin and no other hero. So from there, slowly in the progress of the game, people actually start adapting and understanding what is for what. And people start using marksmans only for behemoths. On the battlefield, you're going to only see mages. There was no infantry. There was still some cavalry people. I mean, the cavalry main people was even back from season 1. And still these days, right now, the cavalry are buffed absolutely crazy. Look at this thing. If you go and the rush, I mean, it was just 1000 rage, which is basically 100% rage, and is going to trigger immediately the moment you touch the range legions, which can be marksmans or it can be mages. You get this 100% rage, and the cavalry heroes hit hard. To start from there, they hit hard. But right now they get to reduce the damage, increase the damage, not be able to be intercepted, so infantry become a little more useless in cases like this. So cavalry right now become very strong. And that's why we see cavalry bombs and all these things. But back in the days was either mages, or if you have some free time, by free time whole day, moving around the map, catching some AFK legion, or somebody just put his legion out to kill Darkling patrols, and they forgot. Right now we actually have auto fighting, so there is going to be less and less AFK legions on the map. And some people was actually doing something else. They didn't bring their legions in home because, you know, first battle you spent 50 combat points per hero. The second one is 48, 46, 44, 42, 40. The moment you hit 40, you can actually just let your heroes out and not actually do some kind of guttering, which for me was actually pointless. But in the same time, when you walk in again, walk in again, you're still going to do 40 per fight. So there was some kind of strange. Oh my god. Believe me, for 2 years, even as a content creator, I have seen so much stuff in Call of Dragons. So the Cavalry was actually able to strike these AFK legions, and when you surround somebody, especially if you're with Eagles, even if you're with Ground Cavalry, you're going to get absolutely crazy traits. So Cavalry mains is from day one, but I decide this is not something for me. I focus over the big fights, and the big fights was with mages, because, you know, when everybody are online and the alliance is going to do a push, they're not going to be, okay guys, walk in on your cavalry heroes and let's go. No, everybody come on the battlefield with mages. So season 1, generation 1, from there, that was the generation 1, season 1. From there became the generation 2, which was presented Sindri and Frygar. After this was presented Forundil and Theodore, I think cavalry was, or infantry. Yeah, I think Theodore Forundil. After this was Goresh Skogos, something like this. Or the first one is a marksman, the last one is a mages, the between I don't remember. So just before Margaret Zeta, I think one season before Margaret Zeta was presented in Call of Dragon. Basically, when the Bertrand Tocher was presented, they present long range warfare. So this is like 3 seasons, if I'm not wrong, or maybe 4. 1, 2, 3. I think it's like 3 or maybe 4 seasons before the long range warfare was presented in Call of Dragons. So at this point, I was having very good developed mage legions. And believe me, 90% from the people playing Call of Dragons, exception is this 10% that most likely is a whales and krakens, was mages. So in situation like this, long range warfare come. And that was the moment where the first wolf spenders, or maybe I can actually say mid spenders, mid spenders, yeah, something like this, start opening tier 5, and they present long range warfare. From there, I start seeing people going for first tier 5 opening was actually a marksman. And here's the thing, even if you open the tier 5, let's say first you open the mages. I mean, I open the mages. To open the other one, it costs so much time. Here it can be 9, but from 9 to 10 was 60 days. The other one was 40 days. This one was like maybe 20 days. There was so much days. You just need speed up. You cannot, okay, I opened the first one. The other one is going to be opened in the next 3 days. No, it was not like this. So I start seeing people opening marksmans, and boy, the pain of Nico Kinara or Kinara Nico was brutal on the battlefield. And back in the days, long range warfare, the reduction of the base stats was only 15%. So even with this reduction, Marksman is having the biggest attack in Call of Dragons, and giving the opportunity for the Marksman heroes to hit with Marksman was absolutely crazy. And here's the thing, if you reduce the base stats of specific troop, this number, the green one, is also going to go down, just because all the percentage you have as a boost of the damage is applied to your base stats. So if the things are going down, you're going to see big drop in other stats also. So, but still, people was going for there. I was like, big deal. It was a big deal, especially when the Margaret Zeta was presenting in Call of Dragons. At this point, I start see 400k. I know at this point, not everybody was tier 5. I think I have like 1 or maybe 2 tier 5 open it, and I spent in the game. So with Margaret Zeta having all these tier 4 mages on the battlefield, and if you're tier 5, 511 Margaret, 5111 Zeta with long range warfare, only 50% reduction, even though that right now is actually 20, but back in this was 15, 400k 400k reports, and it was crazy. So at this point, especially before that, even though that there was a long range warfare, we see crazy reports from some people, especially Kinara Nico was the one with a lot of with the biggest reports because Sindri and Margaret, Sindri and Frygar, it don't perform that good like Nico Kinara. Let's be honest, especially if you have Kinara Awakened with this defense break she's applying. Nico, when he hit applying defense break, it was a nightmare. But Margaret Zeta was the moment where everybody just watched just turn their eyes to the game and they start thinking like 90%, should I actually go for Marksman? And here's the thing, we still didn't know that was a seasonal talent. We still didn't know that the one range warfare is going to still and continue existing. Of course, there was, I think, one or maybe two seasons when the one range warfare didn't exist. I think it was just a one season, but still, it was crazy. It was crazy with these heroes. After these people start adapting, making Margaret Zeta with Celestials, and even with Celestials, they're still performing absolutely great on the battlefield. And here's the thing between the Celestials and Vestos. Vestos, if you check them, they have like 100. Where's the attack? Yeah, 292. This is one of the lowest attacks in Call of Dragons. They're only better from infantry, and infantry are on the battlefield just to get hit. And the Celestials on other side is something completely different. They actually have 332. If I compare to my Cavalry, 332, 439, and Marksman's was having 400. Still, they have like over 100 and something base stats more. But with the reduction of long range warfare, Marksman's and Celestials actually become the same. So you're going to have strong Ballista or Marksman's with no long range warfare, but you're going to have more weak close to the Celestial attack with long range warfare. So at this point, people start actually putting Celestials on place of their Margaret Zeta. And I still don't see why people actually do that, because just for a single season, we have that where there was no long range warfare. The rest of the times there is. Even with 20% reduction, because I actually check it out, the Marksman is still doing more damage from Celestials. So I don't see any big point from going going for Celestials, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Celestials actually have this buff that I don't know if you can. Yeah, increase magic attack by 5%. But yeah, still, Margaret Zeta become universal combo in Call of Dragons. One crazy rally I have seen Margaret Zeta. 1 million tick on castle Margaret Zeta. But I think they're not that good for rally. Just a lot of deaths. And I personally prefer to sacrifice my infantry and my cavalry from sacrificing range like mages or marksmen. Even though the game actually put this hero that have rally talent tree, Kalea, I'm not going to rally nobody with my mages. This is what I can actually say. If I'm going to rally, most likely I'm going to do it with Celestials. But, yeah. So, at this point where Margaret and Zeta was here, and I start seeing this 200 undeveloped, 200k merits report, undeveloped Margaret Zeta, I start questioning myself, should I actually go and continue with mages? Because yeah, you see this, you go out with your 5 legions and you do the same amount of merits, even less, from somebody who is just getting this thing from a single legion, from Margaret Zeta. So I decided to stick with the mages. This is maybe the moment I have like 1 week thinking, okay, should I actually go for marksmans? Because you have to think twice, or even 3 times you have to think, because these things is investment. One hero to be awakened, let's say let's say Frygar. If you open this thing, how much is 5, 6, close to 700 of these tokens? You can get 10 from Roots of War if you win. You can get 10 of Proving Ground. Proving Ground. Okay, it's not 10. I think it's more for the whole season. You start seeing that the amount of these golden heads in Call of Dragons is not that much. It's huge scarcity. I still till these days don't have any hero from the season 1 awakened. I mean, I have Velen awakened, but I actually spent on this bad boy, and I spent on Thea also, but none of the other heroes is actually awakened just by luck from my gold keys. And we're 2 years in Call of Dragons. So at this point, I was like, I'm not going to go for Margaret Zeta just because I'm not going to go for Marksman in total, just because I was not so sure are we still going to have long range warfare, because the people playing mages, which was like 90% from the population of cow dragons, may actually start saying, hey, man, why the marksmans have the only benefit the mages are having? And presenting Bertrand Tocher, that was a single target, was one big hit over the mage players. Even though that they do decent damage, Bertrand is flying, Bertrand Thea can do some good stuffs on the battlefield, and yeah. So this is my story with couple words about why I'm not currently marksman, why I decide to go for mages. Just the switch. The switch is so huge. And right now the hot item is cavalry. Look at this bad boy. This bad boy right now is one of the most wanted heroes. With the buff of the cavalry, they one-shot legions on the battlefield. So basically you can just move on around the battlefield. And when you see some mage go outside from the huge mage bow or mage marksman bow or marksman going to reinforce their legion, you just directly strike. If there is some more legions, if it's somebody like me running 5 legions out, and you can strike him, and the cavalry artifacts have 600 rage to trigger, to actually shoot, and you can get destroyed from the first spells. One of the legions is going to die, and after this the artifact is going to take like 60% or maybe 70 from your legion HP. So it's absolutely brutal power right now, cavalry on the battlefield. So from boosting the marksmans right now is things are going in cavalry direction. I'm expecting to see what is going to be right now is going to be the new marksmans. But yeah, I'm expecting to see what cavalry heroes we're going to see. What cavalry heroes we're going to see. For new mages, I have to wait maybe 6, 7, or 8 months till new mages are presented. But here's the thing, I prefer to be like this. The main reason is if every day is presented new hero, and we know this type of games where there is a constant chasing over the new heroes, and today new hero, tomorrow new hero, and your pocket or your wallet is going to be like like this. So I don't have problem that I have to wait for new mages. We just get the 2 new, which is Thunderlin and Kalea. So yeah, this is the reasons why I didn't go marksman main. Let me know what kind of main you are, and have you ever think to go for something different from what you currently have right now. So I guess this will for this video, guys. Make sure you hit one like, subscribe if you're new to this channel, and see you in the next video.